Hey guys, welcome back to week 6 of the Chewelah Premier Fantasy Draft League. I'm your host, Sunblaze Warrior, and with me this week, just one co-host this week, we've got Jacob Sue.
Hello, everybody. It's great to be back for the third week running. I'm Jacob Sue, manager of Sioux Cast United. It's great to be back with you guys and talk a little bit more Fantasy Premier League.
And we're going to try to be a little bit more off script this week, so forgive us if we make a few mistakes. Now let's get into the transactions that transpired before week 6. Angry Bird Athletic brought in Calafiore for Bradley, exchanging substitute defenders there. And Cyprus FC brought in Nottingham Forest's Milinkovic for Brentford's Pinnock. And then Mountain Villa bringing in Adam Traore for Rodri, who is hurt for the rest of the season with that MCL injury. And underrated choice here, Brennan Johnson coming in for Fulham's Andreas.
So, for the U.S. Air Force, Fofana comes in for Senesi, and then for AFC Sunblaze, there are a whole host of changes, with Mavididi coming in for Socek, Lamina for Chiesa, and Lacroix for 8 Nuri. Now moving into matchups, the U.S. Air Force, carried by Cole Palmer, came out victorious against FC Varka 45-18. For the U.S. Air Force, the previously mentioned Palmer had a whopping 25 points, Konate with 7, and Hermansen, the goalkeeper, with 4. As for FC Varka, it was a struggle of a week with Tavernier scoring 4 and then no other player scoring over 2. But he did have Evan Nielsen, who scored a goal for Bournemouth at the weekend, on his bench. And my question for the manager of the U.S. Air Force is, with Cole Palmer's historic week, what other players are you hoping step up for the rest of the season to make your team more well-rounded?
Friggin' everybody. Raul sat on the bench this week, which was a mistake because he did good, and I think he's going to start getting minutes. And Konate and my defense should be doing good. If Kukurea can actually know how to stop the ball and not get yellow cards, that'd be great. Yeah, Bowen should be big in the midfield. We're going to trade out McGinn, but I think it's a team effort. We need everybody to step up if Palmer has a quiet week.
Wow, very powerful words from the manager of the U.S. Air Force. Very Mourinho-esque, I would say. You can tell he definitely cares about his team. And getting back to our matchups, Toddy's boys took on The Hive, another international derby, and won 43-33. For the Swedish side, Kulusevski, a homegrown player as you might say, scored 11 points, Anthony Gordon for Newcastle with 9, and 3 players, Nicholas Jackson, Mikel Antonio, and Pedro Porro, with 5. And for the Hive, with Holland disappearing once again, it was not enough, as McNeil, even though he scored 15, which was very good, Young only scored 5, and there was no real performance from any other players. Angry Bird Athletic laid a whopping on Newcastle United this week, 55-35, as they returned to top form. For Angry Bird Athletic, Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard carried the team with 13 and 12 points respectively, though Brentford's Mbumo had 9 and Havertz and Romero both had 6. For Newcastle United, Jadon Sancho scoring 9 points, while Solanke and Vicario both scored 6. And in a snoozer of a match, Tommy took on Real Chewelah and won by a score of 21-13. Tommy should consider himself lucky that he wasn't playing against anyone else, as his only real performers were the Fulham defenders Anthony Robinson and Bassi, who scored 7 and 6 respectively, while Real Chewelah, Jack Grealish was the only player to score of note with 7 points, and 6 players on their field for the Romanian side scored 0.
Huckleberry Hotspur came out victorious over team average 35-32 for Huckleberry Hotspur. Ollie Watkins with 11 points, Semenyo with 7, and Timber with 4. Cyprus FC fell short of Mountain Villa, with Cyprus FC's best player being goalkeeper Bernd Leno. Smith Rowe and NDI both contributed 3 points, and then no real production from anyone else. As for Mountain Villa, they get a much-needed win, carried by Brennan Johnson, who had a whopping 11 points against Manchester United. no real other production, but it was enough to get it done, with Josko Gvardiol having scored a goal against Newcastle this prior weekend, sitting on the bench with 9 points. A big win for Mountain Villa. And then the final matchup, AFC Sunblaze went back to winning ways, winning 41-32 against Osignac. For Sunblaze, Ipswich Town striker Liam Delap's 2 goals carried him to 12 points. Mickey Van de Ven with a great weekend for a defender with 11, and Jota with 8. As for Osignac, Mohamed Salah scoring 10 points was his highest scorer. Joachim Anderson with 8, and then no real other production from anyone else.
And our fantasy player of the week, the U.S. Air Force's Cole Palmer. And now onto our league table after 6 weeks of play. Huckleberry Hotspur and AFC Sunblaze continue to lead the league with 15 points now. Toddy's Boys jumps to 3rd after that great win this week, and Cyprus drops to 4th. Plenty of teams are just 2 games off the top spot, and FC Varka, Team Average, and Real Shmuel bring up the bottom of the league.
Well, once again, it's been a pleasure talking Fantasy Premier League with you guys. Sucas United lost this week, but we will be back mightier than ever. Sucas United on the up. This has been Jacob Sue. Always a pleasure to talk to you guys.
And thank you, Jacob, for continuing to be available. I really appreciate your help in making these videos. I know it's another day late once again, but I am trying my best. And as you might be able to tell, I am a little bit sick right now. So once I get over that, we will have the next video for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe and see ya.